nobody else talks until we get through. Unless it's an emergency, raise your hand, pass a note, do something. But we really want, and you've been doing really good tonight. You've been doing really good tonight. Also, too, we have another something. If we forget to cross talk and you see my hand go up, somebody else's hand goes up. Okay? And that's just to get our attention, like, hey, we need to stop talking, basically. Okay? So, rule number 2, excuse me. Okay, rule number 2, there is no eating when you come in the door. If there's food afterwards, eating in the kitchen or the Christian video room. It doesn't come in this area of the house. But when you come in, there's no snacks, no eating.
No fighting.
And, yeah. Okay. There's no eating when you come in here. I think basically we talk about later or at the end of 89 that there is absolutely no talking about gang activities. And we said that if it gets really bad and you just can't retain yourself, you can't hold yourself.
Your mama's rich and your daddy's good looking.
Okay, stop. I'm going to interview you.
Who determines what tobacco is?
He's that come in the flesh.
Right.
Spirit, and that's you, because you're both flesh and blood as well as spirit. And that is in 1 John 4:2. I gotta put that 2 up there. Is that by this you know the Spirit of God, that Jesus has come in the flesh.
What do you think?
So if you guys can say with your own mouth that Jesus has come in the flesh, that's just not on your own will. That's just not on your own.
Your work.
Drawing.
Alright.
Technical drawing. Have to draw we're playing some houses and stuff.
And you believe
Even though I messed up on my measurements.
but you still do it, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
So, you can play around with life.
Brian,
Yeah.
what's one thing that
I just want to say that over the last year or so,
Y'all gotta be quiet, man.
Okay, here we go.
over the last year or so since I've known Brian and got to meet him, I just want to say, Brian, that I've really seen.
Listen.
And I just want to say, I just want to say that we see that. We see your progress. We see how you've grown a lot, and no, really, I mean this. I mean this. We really. No, man.
Hey, listen.
I'll just say a few more things. I won't go on and on, but I just want to say that we do love you, and we're glad that we know you. We're glad that you're a part of our family. And yeah, right. He says, "Give me money." But and we wish you.
Hold up, man. Wait a minute. Everybody else has got a couple announcements. This is a
Gang problems on the rise. Tonight we bring you the story of a gang member who is trying to put his troubled past behind him. He's doing that by turning to the Bible. Steve Dunn has the story.
Good. Frank Harris has had to sing about over the past 2 years. As a prominent member of the Bloods gang, running the streets carrying guns has been his life. But recently Harris decided to change that life and has turned to religion as a way out. Last night he spoke to this Bible study class about the dangers of gang membership and what lies ahead for many of his friends who haven't seen the light.
It's going to have to take a little tragedy in their life to turn around and see what's going on, but I don't want that to happen.
For Harris, the light clicked on 2 months ago while serving time in the Multnomah County Jail.
It's like I'd be sitting in the cafeteria in the jailhouse, and we flick on the news, and all of a sudden I see my homeboy's face on there. He's pronounced dead, or this one was shot, or this one drowned, or, it's like a whole bunch of stuff was happening. And if I didn't get out of it quick enough, that, I'd either end up dead or behind bars.
So Harris got out, and he says he's traded his guns for a Bible.
And ever since then, I've just been reading the Bible and trying to stay strong, and had help from my stepfather and my mom, and they've been helping me a lot, and I appreciate them. And so, you know, I feel better about myself.
But all is not better for Harris. He still faces federal and state charges from his days of running with a gang. A challenge he says he's ready for with his newfound strength. In Northeast Portland, Steve Dunn, Channel 2 News.
Gangs. Tony Gatlin knows firsthand how gangs can ruin lives. Last January, her 20-year-old son Franklin was shot in the head during a gang fight.
Well, we need anything we can get in the city to help the kids see that, that there's
You are looking at pictures of a local Bible study that is chaired by and supported by a lady named Tony Gatlin. We did a news story with her not too long ago, and we're going to talk to her a little bit about gangs this morning. I guess the first, what is the difference between what they're talking about? We need a sense of identity, a sense of structure, and a sense of support. And how does that fit with what you do?
Well, there's a difference, and there's a lot of difference, but I guess the primary difference would be that in order to understand the full scope of the crime, the delinquents, the failure that we're seeing out here that results in many different things, and what we're talking about today is gangs, is that the problem has to be dealt with one person that can do that, and that's Jesus Christ. In the Bible, we have biblical principles. The Bible talks about that in Romans 3:23, that we've all sinned, we've all failed, we're all delinquents. And unless we're trained out of that delinquency, Proverbs 6:22:6 says that we need to be trained. We need to train our children in the way that they should go. So continue in this delinquency. So a gang member isn't a gang member because he decided to be one, or a rapist isn't a rapist because he or she decided to be one. We're all born that. And unless we're changed by Jesus Christ, we're going to continue to be that way.
Okay. So, rights. This is Anna. You used to run with the gangs.
Yeah, a little bit. I've had my window shot out a couple. I have had my window shot out before. I used to use drugs a lot, and I used to run around with some Bloods.
So what is it about Tony's group that other kids?
I've learned a new way to look at things. You know, I've been studying the Bible a lot, and I've learned, like a lot of the scriptures apply to me. You know, and when I read it, it's like, God, I never knew. How would you wonder?
Did you not have any before?
I was doing what I wanted to do.
Why?
Why?
I mean, wasn't there anybody to?
My mom was always busy. She always had something to do, and I was always left at home trying to take care of my sisters and brothers, and it got hard after a while, and I just did what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Night. The shooting was apparently the result of a dispute over a dog. The teenager was rushed to Emmanuel Hospital, where he died in surgery a short time later. A witness says that at first he thought the gun...
Violence. Kern Snipes tells us about a woman who's trying to make her neighborhood a better place to live.
Be bold! Be bold! Be strong! Be strong!
Tony Gatlin is a crusader trying to stop Portland's inner-city drug and gang violence. She's helped organize a Bible study group that includes many former gang members as a way to give young people a sense of direction and keep them out of trouble.
We've got a long ways to go, but at least the Crips that live across the street next door, the Bloods, can talk over the fence now, work together. The mothers can begin to kind of come together and pour out their hearts.
Gatlin knows all too well about heartache. Last January, her 20-year-old son was shot in the back of the head at a party after flirting with the idea of leaving his gang. Today, Frank Harris still carries a bullet in his head, but is trying to stay off the streets.
Yeah, like you said, the temptation is still there, to go back out there. When you hear your homeboys doing dirt and they want you to come with them to help them, it's kind of hard to resist that, but I do it anyway,
Old habits die hard, but Gatlin says teenagers are finally realizing that gangs don't lead anywhere except to trouble.
Gang bang, and now some brothers they dead because the Crips were crippin', because the Bloods were bled.
Gatlin says youngsters are having to learn some tough lessons, but that more and more understand